Well, I was going to sit outside and record, but as you can probably hear, and now it goes quiet, the entire universe is doing DIY today. So actually, they're digging our road up and our pavements. I'm going to go inside instead. Hello. Hello. Just in case you're wondering why I look so harangued and sweaty, it's because we've gone right back up to summertime again. Last week, it came down to like the low 20s, there was some rain, and everybody got their winter gear out because, this is Europe where it goes down to 20 and everyone starts being followed by a bear and wrapping themselves in quilts. But it shot right back up again this weekend. So it's 27 at the moment. It's about 6 o'clock at night, and it's forecast high 20s up to 30 for the weekend. So winter is not coming. It just tried to trick us. So this week is another Bulgaria one because Chris came and stayed with me for the week, which was lovely apart from the dog hair. And then we went back on Friday night and had another weekend in Bulgaria. So we set off really optimistic, 4 o'clock straight from work. Yeah, we're going to go get that ferry. Of course, now I live in Bucharest. They're digging the whole of Bucharest up. So the Times said no way we were going to make the last ferry at 7. So we went by the road border instead. But it was really no problem because it's a lot quieter now. They're also digging the road border up. There's a lot fewer people going there and they're letting people through in batches. So there's not the same free-for-all when you get to the booths to hand your passport over. My QR codes work in a tree. Caused a bit of consternation on the way back on Sunday. They were very interested in it. Why have you got this? What are you doing? Are you in transit? Are you staying in Bucharest? Are you staying in Romania? But my residency card's here. I haven't managed to pick it up yet because you have to leave it 8 days in between it being ready and being allowed to pick it up. But on Thursday, I'm allowed to pick it up from Wednesday onwards. On Thursday, I'm going back to the horrible immigration office, and Amy at work assures me that all I need to do is turn up, show the security guard my QR code, and within minutes, somebody will dash out with my residency card. So I'm super excited about that because obviously I got told that it would be months and months, but obviously they've got a bit more efficient. And that means as soon as I've got mine, I can start applying for my poor husband, who I cannot quite believe this, but next weekend is on his way back to the UK, which feels really weird because we've kind of fallen into a routine with me being here and him being in Bulgaria and us both being able to go back and forth. It was absolutely ideal, and now he's going to have to go back to Britain. But hey, I suppose he can start renovating our little house there and get that spick and span for the kids. So yeah, we had a lovely weekend this weekend. We've been painting, which was our plan last weekend, but of course it rained all weekend, so we couldn't do that. So I've painted the window frames, which look fine, as long as you don't look too closely, in a nice jolly bright green, which is still all over me, all over my legs, but it'll come off in a few days. And we went and bought some masonry paint, which is absolutely brilliant stuff. I've put a photo of it in case you're interested in it. I think it was about 120 lev-ish, somewhere between 55 and 60 quid. And it did about a third of the house for that. And it's got silicone in it, so it seals up any little cracks in your plasterwork at the same time as covering your house. And I just can't believe how nice it looks with that on it. We've done 2 full walls and 3 half walls because the Sunday we were trying to do it and neither of us wanted to get the ladder out, so we just did as far as we could reach. And it's looking really, really good. And Chris went back this morning, brought me home last night, went back this morning with the dogs and went and stopped off and bought another 2 tubs. So we reckon 3 tubs will do it. So about 300, somewhere between 360 and 380 left to paint the whole house. And then it'll be really nice and ready for winter. Yeah, really enjoyed that. It was fun. Met some new villagers, Tim and Gaynor, who have bought James and Tina's house now that James and Tina have gone back to the UK. Met Mark, who's had a house in our village for a couple of years, but I've never actually met him yet, so that was nice. Hello, Mark. Nice to finally meet you. And didn't go out or anything like that, just stayed in. Davey made us some Cornish pasties, so we had those with some potatoes and gravy and veg for our tea on Saturday night. Dogs were so pleased to be back. They love it there. They're going to be gutted going home. And the little village beagle has been hanging around. I think it might have moved into the empty garden next door, so that's been hanging around. I've been leaving that some food out. Chris said the first time it turned up with 3 pups. It's been coming on its own since then. I assume it's taking food home for the puppies. I do feel sorry for them, but it's nowhere near as bad as here, where yesterday, coming back from the ferry, it was just upsetting the amount of dogs we saw walking down the side of the roads in the heat and just looking confused. And I kept going, stop, let's pick that one up. But we know we can't realistically. As soon as I have a space, I will kidnap a couple. We had a really nice weekend just painting. The only problem is I'm absolutely shattered because I think I tend to forget that I do work a 45-hour week and my job is quite challenging. And then I just want to DIY all weekend. But I think Chris reckons he's going to get that done by the end of the week before he goes home. And then it's Colin and Chris's amazing road trip because Chris wasn't feeling very confident about going back across Europe on his own. So Colin has very kindly offered to go shotgun and they're going to share the drive-in. I've just booked their Eurotunnel. I'm going to start looking for some hotels for them to stop in on the way. I have a cookery slot this week. It's pumpkin soup. I harvested a pumpkin. Now I'm in charge of the school gardening club. I've got this group of absolutely delightful girls who are really mad keen on doing it. We planted some lettuces in a greenhouse on Thursday. We harvested a pumpkin the week before and it wasn't going to make it in terms of keeping it for Halloween. It was starting to go soft at the bottom, so I souped it. We have harvested another one since then and some various other squash and made a delightful autumnal display in my classroom. And I've bought them some carrot seeds from Svishtoff this weekend, so we can plant some carrots this week too. So that's nice. My voice is going a little bit. I'm hoping to goodness I'm not getting, there's a virus sweeping across Bulgaria and Romania, like with sore throats and horrible hacking coughs and lost voices and headaches and all sorts. So I'm very much hoping I'm not coming down with that, but we'll see. I think that's about it. I'm still having a nice time. I'm tired because I'm working, but and this job's more challenging than my last one was, but still very enjoyable. And I think the weather does help. So I'm going to get my apartment nice and clean and undogged. I've done some sweeping up. Just need to mop next and polish, and get used to being a woman on my own with my husband thousands of miles away again. Just I've got used to having him around as well. But he's apparently there's a name for them. They're called IMOLs, International Men of Leisure. And there's a group of us at work of ladies of a certain age who we all have an IMOL at home, which I think is rather delightful. So yeah, when I could get him back, he will also be an IMOL. So I hope you enjoy random stuff about me painting our house. I did try and get Chris to do some wood as well, but his chainsaw blade was blunt. So he was like, how much wood do you need? It's not like I need the wood, I need the space where the wood would be. Because if I can stack it in the woodshed in big stacks up to the ceiling, then it's taking less space up. But I think that's going to have to wait now because I'm frightened to death of that chainsaw. There's no way I'm using it. And the little one is also blunt. We have a lot of blunt chains at the moment. So enjoy painting. Enjoy about 20 seconds of Chris watching his blade go blunt on his chainsaw and some soup. I was going to ask you something. I can't remember what it was. I was asking for advice, but I've forgotten what on. If I remember, I'll put it in a comment. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hope everyone is well. Happy birthday to my 21-year-old beautiful, beautiful Sophie Georgia. I am gutted that I've missed your 21st, and I did look for every flight in the universe, and I just couldn't make it work. But I love you. And I'll catch you next week. Peace out. Where are you? You're in the cupboard again? I don't know how you get in there and then you get stuck. Thrilled. Chris is absolutely thrilled because yet again I'm doing a little video. Here he is with his overalls on, ready to try painting. He's never done this before. So, these two windows still need scraping, darling, before I go anywhere near them. It's a good job I'm starting around the other side. We've had some rendering done. So that's all been fixed, all the cracks and everything. And the back door, it's all been done round there. There we go. So my job today is to paint these windowsills. So this is my before video. I'm going to paint these ones. These are all right. They look okay. And I'll be able to paint these quite easily. There's a couple more around the corner that just need scraping off. So I'm going to start around here. But I need to find myself a ladder first before I get going because I am short and these windows are slightly above my height. I completely forgot to ask Davey about if anyone would be willing to collect our grapes because these will just go to waste otherwise when Chris goes home next week. And we have got an absolutely bumper crop, even when you take these tiny ones that didn't grow into consideration. You can see all the way back there. We've got an awful lot of absolutely beautiful grapes, and it is criminal if these go to waste. Criminal! Look at that. Gorgeous. What a life. What a time to be alive. Do you feel satisfied with your work? Monica is angered. Right, so I'm going to take you around and show you what Chris has done in a minute. These are my windows. Now they've got a second coat, and I think for old windows, I think they look all right, and they're watertight for the winter. And Chris assures me that the little blobs of paint that I've got on the UPVC will come off. Do you not, my love, after my little tantrum?
Of course it will.
There you go, you see, positivity all the way around. So, also this rendering is a really good job. Highly recommend. Yeah, I think they look quite nice. And I think when they meet, when Chris's painting meets my windows, I think it'll look really rather smashing. So they're all done. I think I said psychologically, this is the wall that will break him because it's such a big space. But we're going to leave the bit at the bottom because that looks really nice. And Tim, who's done the rendering, has kind of carved some pretend brick into the bottom of that one there. So those, yeah, the fly screens can go back on those tomorrow. I'm just about to make our tea. I'm not completely useless. But tomorrow I've got to catch a bus from Rousset at 12:50 because the only other one available was 3 in the morning, and I'm not doing that. There's my heroic husband in his painting overalls. Very sad that I also have painting overalls, but they don't fit me anymore. Because I am a porker, a little porky pig. Right, you're doing a grand job, darling. I'm going to go show off your hard work. So I've got these ones as well. And then it looks a bit shit round here because these ones aren't done yet. So this one, originally when we came up with the conservatory plan, because the conservatory is going to be here, Davey said knock that window out and the wall and put like a conservatory door in there. And then I said, well, if we do that, because the couch is right in front of that window, we're going to have nowhere to sit in the other room. So we think we're going to leave that and just have it as a little amusing feature. You know, we can fling it open and go, tea's ready and such like. And this one we've not bothered to paint because that one will be getting bricked up when we put the conservatory on. But look at this. Look how different it looks. What a difference a coat of white paint makes. It looks fantastic. When you look next to the colour it usually is, and you go across there, it's like a new house. So he reckons it's taken him the afternoon to do those two walls, but, you know, he did have to get up there and stuff. He reckons 4 days, and that'll just be enough time because he's got to go back to the UK a week tomorrow. And before he does that, he's got to get these little people to the vets to get their... Ellie, do not eat grapes. They are toxic. Ellie. Ellie. Excuse me while I just burp my dog so she stops vomiting. Where was I there? Yeah. So he's going to go back in a week. We've got to get the dogs to the vets to hopefully get their EU passports. And then he's stuck at home for a few months. But I picked my residency up on Thursday, so I can start his. Anyway, job well done, I think. It's nice to come away and relax for the weekend, isn't it?
Right, like I say, ran cheaper anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Looks well, that. Looks really nice. Hello, Bella. It wouldn't be right without wood, so I was hoping to get some more wood cut this weekend, but Chris wants to paint the house, yada yada. But this is my end result from last week. Another layer on top of the old wood, and this lovely, I can't get in there. See, that's another reason why I want a chainsaw. I want to get this off so I don't have to keep limboing under it. That's my pile of small wood, which I'm hoping to add to now while Chris is painting, but we'll see. Also, didn't it create a pretty pattern there where his saw blade burnt? Oh, I don't know how we are ever going to make an inroad on all of this. Also, now that we've gone to this wheelie bin system, I'm trying to work out, apparently they're not giving us composters. Most villages get composters, but not us. So I'm trying to work out if there's a space here. It's just so rocky, away from the house, where I can put a compost bin. And maybe like a couple of, because apparently we've got to take our, which is good, we've got to take our paper and card and tins and bottles and things down to the village. I could do with a couple of containers to put them all in. And then I thought if I could build a composting bin here, then all the food waste could go into that. And we'll have very little bin stuff at all, really. So I suppose it's a good thing. It's not really working, though, because in the village there's just bin bags all over the place. But there you go. This is called How Far You Can Get Without Using a Ladder, because that ladder that I've been using, I can't really get close enough to the wall with all that stuff there. So we've done another bit there, and just round the corner, and then I ran out of paint. And meanwhile, Chris is doing another wall at the side and round the front, and he's about to run out of paint as well. So we're going to have to go and get some new paint, and it's a national holiday tomorrow, so we're not sure if the shop will be open. But yeah, getting there. I reckon 2 or 3 more days work and we'll have a white painted house ready for winter. Very nice. Looks like a different house with a coat of paint on it. That's what Chris has done today. He's just gone round the corner. Wish he wouldn't do things like that where he's dipped down, you know. If you can have the bottom bit, leave the bottom bit. Halfway around the corner, he started painting the bottom bit, but... Hello? See, I'm not sure how I feel about this. He's painted this bit and he's planning on painting down there. And he says, probably quite rightly, I don't know, that's been freshly rendered. And he said it'll protect the render. But then I think it'll look weird because there's this nice brickwork around the rest of the house. I don't want to paint over that. So there'll just be this one section that's been painted. I suppose it'll be okay. It's like a modern extension. I certainly don't want to be painting the rest of the bricks anyway. And that lot's going to need to be moved too. So this is the sum total of my work because Chris let me have the rest of the paint. So I have managed to do this far along this wall. I reckon I've saved him half a day's work. And I reckon we've got almost half a painted house now. Oops, sorry dog. What have you brought me? What's up?
It's fucking disconnecting it.
Oh dear.
So
You,
I'll get back in.
I suppose I should go and collect those bits he's done and put them in the woodshed. Right, it's becoming a tradition now that doing the cookery slot. So I thought since I'm making something nice, I'll show you. So in my pot here, I'm just turning my oven on, I have got one medium pumpkin, which I harvested from the school garden because I've started gardening club. I've got 3 white onions. I've got a tablespoon of olive oil. I've got curry powder, turmeric, garlic and chilli. And I'm going to make pumpkin soup, which is a delicious winter warmer. And okay, it's not winter yet, but it's cooled off a bit, enough to enjoy things like this anyway. So I'm just going to let this heat up a bit and get the spices cooking. Put some salt and pepper in there as well. I like it spicy. And then when it's cooked for a few minutes and softened, I've got 2 stock cubes in there as well. I'm going to start adding some water. I think I just turned the oven off by accident. Oh, no, I didn't. And while that's cooking, I'm going to make mine and Chris's tea because I have the privilege of having my husband and my dogs here for the week. They brought me back from Bulgaria yesterday. So, yeah, I'm going to make some creamy garlic and mushroom pasta for us. But this is going to be tomorrow night's tea, so it can simmer away all night tonight. So I'll be back in a little bit when it's softened up a bit. Right, so I've got my pasta bubbling in the background now for our tea. This is all nice and spices mixed in and fired up. I've put some lemongrass and some garlic in there as well, and a little pinch of cinnamon because I want it to be a sweet curry-ish soup. And then I've got some water to start with here. And give that a bit of a stir. The last time I made pumpkin soup, Chris said, "Is this soup or is it like curry sauce?" Because I hadn't put enough liquid in it. So I'm going to make sure I do this time. I'm going to add some more water and I'm going to finish it off with some reduced fat coconut milk as well to make it nice and creamy. So I'll get some water now. Right, so I've put about 1.5 litres of water in there. And that should be more than enough. Let's loosen it up. So I'm going to let that boil a bit and keep an eye on these pasta while I'm doing it. And then I've got to, once this is doing, I've got to go and do my mushrooms and my onions as well. And this coconut milk is little, and it was 5 lei, so just £100. This is a nice healthy meal. Pasta, not so much. Pasta we're going to enjoy and indulge a little bit. Put the oven on ready for my garlic bread as well. Right, it seems to have decided it's not going to boil, simmer or do anything even vaguely interesting. So once it starts boiling, I'll reduce it to a simmer and add my coconut milk. And then I'll just probably leave it for, simmering for a good hour to make sure it's super soft before I do anything with it. So I'll come back for the finishing touches. Right, 3 hours later, we've finally come to a boil. So I'm going to turn it down now it's come to a boil. And I was deliberating with myself, do I want to put my coconut milk in now? Or do I want to put it in later? And after I've blended it. And I think I'm going to go for now, purely because I want the flavour to infuse. And rank amateur that I am, in my head, it will be more successful if I put the coconut milk in now. So I'm going to put about 1/3 of a tin in. There we go. Did more. And I'm hoping this is going to be a delicious warming soup. Creamy, lovely. So I'm going to leave that, let it go for an hour or so. And then, that smells nice. Blend it all up later. And in the meantime, I'm getting on with my pasta.